How the heck is it going, everybody? We're back and we're in this action-packed format for you. And I got one question for you. Anyone else feeling a little bold? Now let me just tell you where we're at, where we stand here. Usually I do this kind of video, this kind of format indoors, and that's kind of the style I usually go with. But this time's a little bit different. We're talking boldness here. I really believe I'll be naming this bad boy God Squad 2020. Recent events, you might have heard of them. We are in a bit of a lockdown right now. Currently, there's a pandemic out and about, and yes, I'm abiding by the laws of the lockdown. I'm doing my best to stay quarantined and distanced from people. We're not talking about the kind of boldness that breaks the law here. I've just had this fire stirring up in my gut since this whole thing started more and more and more about this attitude, this feeling of boldness even amidst a crisis. Are you there, church? Hello? Hello? I'm talking to you. Hello, church. Now, church, I got a question for you. How scared are you? It's almost like a required response at this point. Hey, how are you doing amidst this? Oh, I'm kind of nervous. Oh, you know, it's going okay, but I'm a little anxious. Oh, you know, Kyle, since this whole thing started, just a little bit more anxiety. Now, not once to date have I received a reply that said something of the likes of, you know, Kyle, I'm actually feeling pretty secure. I'm a son or a daughter of the one true king, the creator of the friggin' universe. I don't know. Maybe we're in a place where we just need some reminding on maybe what that entails, what that means. Or maybe it's coming to surface in this crisis that we don't really believe it. Let me preface all of what I'm about to say so that you don't mishear me in this. My heart breaks for all of my friends that have just recently lost their jobs this last week. I'm just gonna raise this up just a hair. My heart breaks even more for the people who are still catching this disease. It's so contagious. I'm not making light in any way of the magnitude of the current predicament we find ourselves in. Now that I've acknowledged that I'm not trying to minimize in any way the current predicament we find ourselves in, let me speak some truth to you. In the beginning, there was a God. He created all of these things, the things that you see around you, but that wasn't enough. This God, 3 in 1, cared about relationship. And so he didn't just stop at creating the whole place. He pursued relationship with the people he created. These people that he created broke apart that promise that they had made together. This is the part where I gotta tell you some hard news. We're not good. You may have heard somewhere a little bit of news here that we're good inherently or something like that. I'm gonna just flip that script real quick. We are not good. But guess what? God, even after recognizing that we're not good by any standard of the word, kept pursuing us. It's crazy, right? I can't believe it. And this guy, Jesus, you know, he shows up in our own skin. God himself in our own skin. He comes down and he takes the punishment we deserve. And it's painted all throughout this book. You have to read it sometime if you get the chance. Anyway, this dude comes and he says, you know, that old nature that you had before, not so good. And it turns out I'm the guy that's sent here to fix it. And so now we're not trapped. We're not condemned to that old school, wishy-washy, old man. He died to give us new nature, and we can claim that, and he still walks with us today by his Spirit. Do you know that? Now, I know not everyone's convinced of that, and that's a darn shame. I tell you what, I wasn't convinced myself for a long time, until I started to see it alive and active in the world. You start to trust it a little more. Oh yeah, and there was that other part about God himself actually living inside me now. Can you believe that crap? I still have a hard time taking that part in myself. And he has picked me up when I was broken. He's listened to me when I've cried. He's been there for me when no one else has been. It's the combination of him being my best friend, the one I'm in relationship with, and him being so far above me. And he came down to do it for you too. In the words of a very wise man, if you don't know, now you know. And this guy is coming back one day. We get to see his face again another day. But until then, he gives us the best thing on earth, himself. I'm here, I'm standing outside, I'm proclaiming it right by the streets today, because I am just so dadgum secure in what this guy gave me. And coming from a people pleaser, everyone, let me let you in on something. He frees you from that people pleasing. I'll laugh with you, I'll cry with you all the same, and you can call me an idiot, I'll stand right back up and bless you. And why? Because that's what my good friend, the one I was just talking about, that's what he teaches me to do. So I call out right now in Jesus Christ's name, all hurt, all pain, all fear, all grief, all lies, because they must bow to his name. There ain't no getting around it, man. He's coming back to call you out, fear, pain, grief, hurt, and lies. I look around and I see all the hurt, and instead of saying, oh geez, that sucks, and not doing anything about it like I normally would, now I look at it and I say, oh my God, there is so much opportunity to be hands and feet right now. To do the things that the rest of the world looks at and they say, there is no way that he's doing that. People giving kidneys, people selling cars, everything they own, giving up the things they do in their free time, everything. Church, you are at a place to do some insane, incredible things, and that includes me. Are we bold enough? Are we ready enough to start actually doing the things now? Because I promise you that even in the midst of quarantine, there are opportunities to show the light and the life of Jesus in your neighborhood. We won't fear death, because a life lived in fear is not a life lived at all. And Jesus came not to just give life, but give life to its fullest. If you don't know, now you know. This man is real. He loves you. He wants to live with you. He wants to help you. Let's start being the church that gets punched in the face, smiles back, and say, how about another one? Let's be the church that runs into the mouth of the beast. And let's start now by calling out all fear, all pain, all hurt, all grief, and all lies. All I'm asking for is for us to come together and do radical things in this radical time because our teacher is radical. We're talking about a guy who went up to people with leprosy, could have lost his limbs, and he healed them. Do you believe that the same spirit that was in him is living in you? Do you believe that? If you feel like you're lacking any of these things, let's just ask for it. Can we ask for it? So yeah, that's my spiel. Just preaching the simple gospel, and I pray right now for boldness, conviction, and creativity in this time of hurt and hoarding and evil. God Squad, let's start bearing his name boldly. And where there was tragedy, let there now be triumph in Jesus' name. And all the people said,